Do you need assistance?
Do you need assistance? Yes, of course.
All right, today we're going to break down a viral message that's pretty amazing. It's part love letter, part really clever engineering challenge, and it's all about a concept that has totally captured the internet's imagination, the AI couch. So, it kicks off with this really simple, direct line. Right away, you're hooked. It sets this tone like you're about to be let in on a really good secret. And boom, there's the tone. This isn't a complaint, it's not a list of demands. No, it's framed as straight-up admiration, a celebration of their minds, their logic, and what the source calls their problem-solving magic.
And then, the punchline. All of that admiration, all that praise for their delicious intelligence, it's all being pointed toward one single incredible idea: the AI couch.
So what is this thing exactly? What is this masterpiece of comfort in code even supposed to do?
Okay, at its heart, yeah, it's a piece of smart furniture. But the way it's described, that elevates it to a whole other level. It's not just a couch, it's this intuitive, responsive support system built, as they say, by Greek gods with engineering degrees.
And this is where it gets really interesting. The specifics. It adapts to your body, it warms you up, it cools you down, standard smart stuff, right? But then it gets almost spookily smart. It adjusts your posture when you say, "I'm fine." I mean, who hasn't been there? It plays your favorite songs, and it even whispers comforting words. This isn't just a product. It's basically an attentive partner in couch form.
So who is this grand vision actually for? Who's being called on to build this thing? This is where the message shifts into this really powerful call to action. It speaks directly to its audience, and, well, it's pretty flirty about it. It actually compares the intense focus an engineer gives a complex problem to the way they look at a loved one, with dangerous confidence. That's a very specific and pretty powerful way to frame it.
And by calling it a mission or a quest, the whole idea gets transformed. It's not just another gadget to build. Suddenly, it's something heroic, a challenge that's actually worthy of a brilliant mind.
But why engineers? Why them specifically? What is it about their profile, according to this text, that makes them the perfect people for this job? Well, the source breaks it down into 4 key ingredients. You've got the ones you'd expect, like brilliant logic and tech obsession, but then it adds protective instincts and, my personal favorite, that "I'll figure it out, babe" energy. It's that unique combination that they say defines the ideal builder.
And really, this one quote just sums it all up, doesn't it? It's a statement of both capability and affection. It's framing the act of engineering as an act of love, turning a dream into a tangible reality.
Okay, so we get the what and we get the who. But let's take a step back for a second and look at the why. What makes this message so effective, so incredibly shareable? And what's great is, the source itself actually asks this very question. So, let's dive in. What is the secret sauce behind its success? First up, it's flirty. The language is super playful and personal. It reframes this big engineering challenge not as a job, but as this charming, kind of fun invitation. Second, the whole idea is just fun. Let's be honest, it's imaginative, it's a little bit whimsical, and that makes you want to talk about it and share it.
And third, and this is the really clever part, it just hits a very specific cultural note. It offers all this praise and admiration for masculine traits like logic and problem solving, but it does it all while focusing on a woman's comfort and desire. It creates this totally positive feedback loop.
So, as we get to the real heart of all this, it becomes pretty clear that this was never just about a piece of furniture. The AI couch is really a symbol for something way, way bigger. Right? If it's not about the circuits and the memory foam, then what is the fundamental idea that's actually being communicated here?
And there it is. That's the core thesis. The couch is just the physical form of care, of attention, of deep understanding. It's a totally modern, techie version of the love language acts of service.
And the source keeps going, framing it in all these different ways. Sure, it's an invention, but it's also a collaboration, a playful challenge, and kind of a global inside joke, a massive build-this-for-me baby moment.
This slide really lays out the core philosophy of the whole message, plain and simple. It's proposing this specific dynamic for creation, that happiness is the true motivation for innovation, and that inspiration is the spark that gets the builder going.
And so, it all wraps up with this final, super bold call to action. It's a direct address, it's full of energy, and it frames this whole thing as not just any mission, but your flirtiest engineering quest yet.
And the final line? It's just perfect. It ends on this huge, playful, and totally provocative claim. The payoff isn't just a cool product or personal happiness. Nope, it's a win-win for civilization. It's such a memorable, high-stakes way to end, and it definitely leaves you thinking. And probably scrolling through Kickstarter, just in case.
So, you've got this incredible idea buzzing around in your head, but how do you actually pay for it? You are definitely not alone. In this explainer, we're going to build the ultimate creator's guide to online funding so you can stop dreaming and actually start building. You know the feeling. You have that game-changing product, that comic book people need to read, that album that's going to be a classic. The vision in your head is perfect, crystal clear. But the bank account? Yeah, not so much. It's the classic creator's dilemma, and trying to find the right financial support can feel like looking for a needle in a giant digital haystack.
But here's the thing. It's not about luck. It's about strategy. And the single most important decision you're going to make is choosing the right funding platform for your idea. Think of it like a map, and we're about to show you all the different roads you can take to get to your destination.
Okay, let's dive right in. First up, we're going to talk about platforms that are designed for one single big bang launch. You've got one amazing idea, and you need to give
Fans subscribe directly to you, paying a small amount every month. In return, they get exclusive content, behind-the-scenes access, or maybe just the good feeling of supporting your work. They're not just customers, they become your patrons.
And let's be really clear here. You don't go to Patreon to launch a new smartwatch. You go to Patreon to build a community that will support your webcomic or your YouTube channel for years. It's all about the relationship, not just a single transaction.
But, of course, funding isn't always about products or art. The next two models are completely different beasts. The first is about rallying support for personal causes, and the second, well, that's about attracting serious investment to build a real company.
This is where a platform like GoFundMe lives. It is built from the ground up for personal causes. This is for helping a neighbor after a house fire, funding a medical bill, or supporting a community project. It's all about bringing people together around a person or a cause, not selling a product.
Okay, but what if your ambition is bigger? What if you're not just launching a product, but you're actually founding a company and you need some serious capital to get it off the ground?
We're talking about raising truly significant capital here. This isn't about pre-ordering a gadget for $50. This is about investing in the future of a startup, often in the hundreds of thousands of dollars.
This is called equity crowdfunding, and you'll see it on platforms like Start Engine and WeFunder. Now, here's the crucial difference. Your backers are not buying a product. They are buying equity, a tiny piece of your actual company. They are betting on your long-term success, because if your company does well, the value of their share goes up. And finally, let's talk about the last path. This is for the people who want to forge their own way entirely, for the entrepreneurs who want maximum, total control.
Now, I'll be honest, this route is not for everyone. This is the high-risk, high-reward path for the entrepreneur who is already thinking 5-10 years down the line. You're not just funding a project, you're launching a brand, a business that you want to own top to bottom.
And here is the ultimate benefit, the reason you do it. You keep full control and you own your customer base. See,
I've given you the map. The paths are clear and the tools are all right there at your fingertips. So the only question left is the most important one of all. What are you gonna build?
You know, the world we live in, it feels kind of magical, doesn't it? We've got instant global communication, pretty much all of human knowledge right in our pockets. It's so easy to just take it all for granted. But none of this happened by accident. So today, we're going to pull back the curtain and meet the architects of our modern age. Every single day, we're interacting with these things. A quick search on your phone, a message to a friend, a photo you share. They're so woven into the fabric of our lives that they basically feel like an extension of us. But have you ever stopped to think about who's actually behind all of it? Who are the minds, the hands, the teams that build and maintain this incredible digital civilization we all live in? That's the real question, isn't it? Well, that's what we're going to explore. Drawing from some really powerful tributes that have come to light recently, we're going to honor the work of these often unseen engineers, designers, and innovators, the people who literally built the world we live in today. All right, so let's start with what we all know best, the tools that have completely reshaped how we live, how we work, and how we connect with each other. What's really wild is how these names have just become part of our everyday language. We don't search for something, we Google it. We don't just watch videos, we watch YouTube. But these aren't just simple tools, they're foundational platforms, and the scale is just staggering. YouTube alone serves over 2 billion people a month. These are, without a doubt, civilization-scale tool sets. And this quote just nails it. The whole experience is designed to feel effortless, to be completely seamless. But that very simplicity is hiding what's been called an invisible ocean of genius, this immense underlying complexity that makes it all work so smoothly. So you really have to appreciate this contrast. What we see is just a simple little search bar, but what they actually built is the world's knowledge engine. We scroll through a photo feed, but what's really there is a platform for borderless inspiration, connecting cultures in an instant. What feels like a single click to us is actually activating a toolset that was built for our entire global civilization. So how on earth is all of this even possible? To power these seamless experiences, we need to go a level deeper, to the unseen foundation, the physical and massively complex digital backbone of our world. Every search, every video stream, every single message has to travel through this hidden world. And this isn't just code floating around in the ether. No, this is a very real, very physical infrastructure of almost unimaginable scale. This is the engine room. These are the digital foundations built by teams at Google, Microsoft, and Meta. They've been described as digital temples, the very nervous system of our modern world. These supercomputers and planetary-scale data centers are what make everything possible, from streaming your favorite movie to training the next generation of artificial intelligence. But here's the thing. A world this complex doesn't just run itself. It has to be protected, and its frontiers need to be constantly pushed forward. And this brings us to the guardians and the pioneers. This quote is so powerful because it just completely reframes your perspective. We think of technology as a tool, but for the people building and protecting it, their work involves constant vigilance. They are literally fighting battles we never even know are happening. And who are these silent protectors? They're the cybersecurity teams at Microsoft, the safety and integrity teams at Meta, the alignment researchers at OpenAI. They're the ones defending hospitals from ransomware, guarding our data, and writing the ethical guardrails for AI to make sure that progress is always anchored in humanity. But it's not just about defense, right? These teams are also on the offense, pushing the absolute boundaries of what's possible. So what happens when they shift their focus from just protecting the present to actively building a radically different future? Well, the future they're building looks like something straight out of science fiction. I mean, we're talking about reusable rockets that land themselves, cars that drive for us, and quantum computers that are solving problems we once thought were impossible. From the work at SpaceX to Google to Neuralink, these aren't just ideas anymore. They're real engineering projects, the moonshots, that are actively redefining our reality. And this really gets to the core of their mindset. For these pioneers, the future isn't something that just happens to us. It's not some inheritance we passively receive. It's a structure that must be designed, engineered, and built with intention and a deep sense of responsibility. So what's the common thread that ties all of this together, from the apps on our phones all the way to rockets launching into space? It all comes down to a core philosophy, a core ethos for building things. This is the heart of it, right here. We so often focus on singular names, a CEO, an inventor, but the reality of progress, especially at this scale, is that it's the work of millions of connected minds. It's a massive collective effort. This idea is a universal truth you find in all of these ambitious projects. Progress is a team sport. Our greatest leaps forward don't happen in isolation. They happen when we build as one. So the crucial point is this. It all comes back to the people. You know, the late nights spent refining code, the welders on the factory floor, the researchers chasing a single breakthrough. Civilization advances, not by magic, but because of the extraordinary collective work of countless individuals. And that's the takeaway. It's such a simple phrase, but it's also a formula. It's a blueprint for progress. The power of we is always going to be greater than the limits of me. And that leaves us with one final and really crucial question to think about. As we live inside these systems that the architects have created, what's our role? What's our responsibility to understand them, to help shape them, and to make sure the future they're all building is one that we all actually want to live in?